What's up YouTube? This is going to be your guide on how to use Regieleki in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, put it below in the comment section of the video. If you enjoy these, they help you out, drop a like, and let's get into it. So, Regieleki is a very fast Pokemon, fastest ever, and it has some very interesting stats. The thing about Regieleki which makes it difficult is its move pool. It's extremely barren, which makes it only viable for certain sort of things. So let's have a look at that. So firstly, its stats. Look at that speed stat. Absolutely insane. We've got offensive stats at 100 base power for its attack and special attack. So this can run physical sets, and it also can run special sets too. So we're going to be looking firstly at more of a singles related Regieleki, but you could also use this in doubles play as well. Ability is Transistor, so this Pokemon's offensive stat is multiplied by 1 times 3 when using an electric type move. So it's going to get a nice little boost there using any electric attack, and it learns a lot of them. That's kind of about all of this. So let's have a look at it. Our first set here is going to be a screening or a screening like pivoting set. So it does get the great ability to use a speedy light screen and reflect. So that's going to be extremely good and making it a very good support style Pokemon. So with Light Clay on there, they can last for 8 turns, which is excellent. And that's going to allow any of your more like say frailer Pokemon or setup Pokemon to set up and do their job there, and it's going to last for a long time, which is really good. It also can get rid of any, mainly for singles, this move here for Rapid Spin. This can get rid of any entry hazards on the field, which could be a pain for your team, so it's great for getting rid of that. If you wanted to for doubles, I would recommend Explosion. That can get it off the field, but we're sort of looking at timid nature for this set for the Stealth Rocks one, so maybe you want to adjust it to something like Naive, so you can use a Volt Switch for scouting and Explosion just to do some damage there. It's not going to do a lot of damage, it's just a good way of getting it off the field and getting a bit of damage all around. Now, it can also run physical too. It doesn't have to only be special, and you could also possibly put on Thunderbolt too, but I like having Explosion on there. If you get a ground type coming in, it can be useful. This set is going to be definitely more of just a support set, so we've got Max Health and Max Speed, Naive Nature or Timid Nature if you're running, Jolly Nature or Naive, depending on what you're running, right? Whether a physical move or a special move. If you are mixed though, you can go ahead and use Naive or Hasty or something like that. This Terra type, I would opt for Flying. Flying's pretty obvious because it's only weak to one type, being ground, but gee, I really wouldn't be Terraing this Pokemon. If this is the role on your team, it'd be much better suited for another Terra on your team. So only do it if you absolutely have to get those screens up, then sure. If not, it's going to be a waste, right? Don't do it. Maybe on a more offensive set, sure. Anyway, so that's more of a screening set. Let's have a look now at more of a special sweeping set. So for Regieleki, I made up this set that you could do for it. It's a little bit off meta for sure, because its strengths sort of lie in other areas, but I thought I'd give one anyway. So we've got a special attacking Regieleki, so we've got Max Speed, Max Special Attack, Modest Nature. I thought to give it Modest because it has such a high speed stat anyway. Not really anything is going to outspeed it regardless, unless it's a speedy Choice Scarf Pokemon, boost the energy, something like that, boosting its like Flutter Mane or something like that. That's about it. You could always go Timid if you're really scared of getting outsped. Now, this is going to be for a rain team, so this would be pretty cool on a rain team. It actually isn't bad as setting up a fast weather with Rain Dance. And then you can opt to use Thunder as well, which is pretty cool. So you've got Thunder and Rain Dance, and then you've got Terra Blast Water, or I think it even gets... No, it doesn't get Weather Ball. I'm just checking. But yeah, Terra Blast Water, and then you've got Charge Beam to use as well to, bolster up its special attack even more. Because it is fast enough, and Charge Beam with Transistor will still hit, reasonably hard. And then Thunder's going to hit, really hard, which would be a nice option. If you're using this in singles and you don't really want to worry about you know, boosting your stats up. You can go for Volt Switch, and you can use it as a scout as well if you come into a, you know, not a very favorable matchup. That could absolutely be useful as well. But I just wanted to mention more of a sweeping set. Probably more for I'd say probably more for singles, but you could definitely change that around for doubles as well. You could still give it those moves, and maybe Volt Switch or, you know, Protect or something like that could work. Max Speed, Max Special Attack, Modest. I gave that Damp Proc as the ability. Terra Water, so that way you can hit any ground-type Pokemon. Ground-type Pokemon are Regieleki's like biggest counter. Okay, let's have a look at some double stuff here. So this can run a little bit differently in doubles. You can actually use some interesting moves. So we've got a Thunderbolt set here. We've got Terra Ice, which can be pretty decent as well. And we've got Terra Ice allows you to hit those types like ground and grass types, which is useful. Any dragon types as well, but any kind of, it's pretty good for counters. Plus, even if you've got maybe a snow team, you could get that on there, and then it could receive that defensive boost, so it could be useful that way. You could go Terra Blast Grass, Terra Blast Water as well. They're all options that you could use for Regieleki. Another move you could give it is Eerie Impulse, which isn't a bad move at all, because you can drop the target's special attack by 2 stages, which is a lot. And it's very, very fast, so you're going to be able to do that a lot of the time. So say you got a powerful Pokemon that comes in, it's got a fat special attack stat, boom, Eerie Impulse, drop that special attack, and then it's not going to be so much threatening, right? It may even cause a swap too, which can be useful. The other move I'll put in there is a Protect, which is always useful because any fake out users or flinching moves, you've got Focus Sash on this set too, so it would be good to, you know, kind of retain that. We're going more sweeping EVs here, a Max Speed and Max Special Attack Timid Nature, so that's going to be useful. And Thunderbolt's going to be hitting pretty hard too, which it's going to be, it's going to be fine for a Pokemon, like that. Now, our next double set we've got here is more of a physical offensive set. So we've done special, I want to do a physical offensive set. So this one's kind of like special / support style, and this one is just full out sweeping set. So it's sort of like a, it's kind of like a Terra Normal, Extreme Speed, Dragonite and stuff, but it's obviously it's nowhere as good, but the thing about it is it has Explosion too, which is actually pretty good. So you have got the option of going Extreme Speed or Explosion. You've got Wild Charge as well, which is a fairly powerful electric type move. And you've also got Protect there too. Now we're going to pop on Normal Gem to increase the power of Explosion or Extreme Speed, or you could even drop it back and give it Silk Scarf as well if you really want to boost up those normal moves. Now, it does get Supercell Slam on there, but Supercell Slam is not a good idea in doubles with all the Protect users, because even if you use it on someone that uses Protect, you're still going to get rid of half your health there, even if it that happens. So I would not advise using Supercell Slam. I would use Wild Charge instead. Even though you got Recoil, it's still going to be better. And if 100 base attack and Transistor, it is going to hit pretty hard. So it can serve as a physical or special attacker. You can always mix that into your sets. And it's very, very fast too, so it's going to be useful. But you can even mix this set in here with some screens as well. You could go Light Screen Reflect, and then you could do Explosion or Wild Charge. You could easily do that. There's little combinations of these sets I feel could work rather nicely. Another interesting move you can use on Regieleki as well is going to be Electro Web. Electro Web isn't too bad as a support move because you can drop the speed of both the opponent's Pokemon there. So that could be useful too if you come across some fast Pokemon. Regieleki is going to be sort of support, and you can drop their speed. So that can definitely be decent. It's so limited, right? It's so limited. Another move you could probably use on a more of a support style set, even a sweeping. Most of the support style sets are still max special attack and max speed, by the way. Just thought I'd mention that. Thunder Wave, that's always a good move to use on there too. And you've got some other... That's mainly it. I'm going to go through its move pool and show you, but it's very, very limited. There's only a little bit you can kind of actually do with this Pokemon. It's either one thing or... And that's it. Other alternative terrors. So I have gone over normal already for Regieleki, and we went over we went over having maybe a Terra Electric or a Terra Ice one. So some other possible ones you could use. I mean, Terra... Yeah, I think that either normal, electric, or ice are probably the best. Or flying. I just don't see it being useful. And if you've got any other Terras than normal, electric, ice, or flying, let me know. Like, if you think there's some sort of merit for that. But I personally don't think so. Maybe Ghost. Possibly Ghost. That could be another good one. Getting around opposing extreme speeds, fake outs. Maybe more so on this focus sash set. That would be probably better. But nah, not too much. Not too many other Terras that would work on it. So let's have a look at some more other sets that I've got here, and then we're going to look at some teammate encounters and other thoughts. So our next set here is an Electro Ball set. So Electro Ball is an interesting move, and what it does, right, basically is more power the faster than you are than the target. So wow, this move is made for Regieleki, right? It's a very, very fast Pokemon. So we're looking at a sweeping set, special attack and speed. So we've got max special attack, max speed, timid nature. We got Air Balloon on here. I thought Air Balloon could be an interesting item for it too, because it's only got one weakness, and that's ground. So generally it's going to be able to live one neutral attack, unless it's a really boosted up Pokemon. We've got Agility, and we've got Electro Ball working together. This set is probably geared towards singles a little bit, definitely a little bit more, but you could try it in doubles if you wanted to. Terra Blast Grass, that's another Terra that could work too. That's going to allow you to hit any ground type Pokemon, so that's going to be used. And well, you've already got Electro Ball for water, so mainly ground, that's going to be useful for. And it also gets Ancient Power, so another maybe a last ditch attempt at trying to boost your special attack. That or overall bulk, or you could even put Charge Beam on there. We sort of talked about Charge Beam already. Like I said, it's very, very limited, right? So this is going to be hitting really, really hard. You could even change Terra type Grass to Electric, so you get like even more base power out of it. But the thing is, then you get walled by a ground type Pokemon, which is why I suggested Terra Grass or Terra Water. For those sort of things there. So yeah, that's another way you could possibly run a Regieleki, basing it around Electro Ball. You could have, if you're trying to run this in doubles, you could have a Tailwind Pokemon too. You could have, it'd be tough, because it depends on what Pokemon come in. Because if you come across a Pokemon that's very fast, it's not going to do very much damage, and then something like Thunderbolt outclasses it, right? So that's something you have to consider as well when using sort of more gimmicky moves. But it is fun, and I've used Electro Ball Regieleki before too. Let's have a look at a PIMPNITE special here. We've got to have at least one of these. Have a look at this one. So we've got a physical Regieleki. Now we've got max health and max attack, lonely nature. We don't want to drop its speed at all. It's still got a very good speed stat with no EVs in it. So we've got a paralyzing acrobatics set. So we've got Body Slam to spread a little bit of paralysis. We've got acrobatics with Terra Flying, and we've got weakness policy. So if someone hits you with a ground type move, you can go Endure, get the weakness policy, then obviously you go for a Terra Flying on that turn, dodge said ground move, and then go for an attacking move again to try and feint them. We've got Supercell Slam and Acrobatics and Body Slam. So Body Slam is, there's not too much use outside of maybe hitting an opposing electric type, right? You could also have extreme speed on there. So a PIMPNITE special there, physical set. It is funny that Regieleki has extreme speed because it's so fast anyway, but yeah, it makes sense at the same time. So there's a fun set for you to try out there if you really, really want to. Terra Flying. I mean, Terra Flying's not bad on Regieleki. It's not all that bad for sure. So let's go over now some counters and some Pokemon that will work well with Regieleki. Okay, so we're going to bring some of these up now. So for teammates, Rillaboom makes a really good teammate here. So they sort of cover each other's weaknesses. So I've done a Rillaboom guide too if you want to check that out. So this is really, really good, Rillaboom with Regieleki, because you've got some nice type synergy there for both. So Regieleki can sort of set up, screens, or it can do some some damage there, or spread some paralysis, help Rillaboom out, and then Rillaboom can kind of get rid of any of those ground type Pokemon, so you don't have to swap Portera and stuff like that. And it's definitely a good partner for sure. And another good one as well, these are the more of the meta sort of partners, would be Urshifu. That's going to be the same kind of thing. They're getting around those ground type Pokemon for sure. Any steel type Pokemon, any real bulky special defensive walls, they can sort of break through them. Another interesting one too, you can use. You can also use stuff like Chi-Yu as well. So you can. Regieleki doesn't have the greatest special attack in the world, right? But with Transistor and with a partner like Chi-Yu, you can also drop the special defense of the Pokemon and then use them together in like a combination. You could set up screens for that. That could be kind of interesting too. So you could try and use them, maybe use those together, or any other special attacking Pokemon that could work well with too. So more grass types here. We'll bring up some grass. They're like probably the most meta ones you'd have to worry about. Ogerpon Wellspring wouldn't be bad as well. That actually would be a nice little partner there for it. Another good one as well is Farigiraf. Mainly because of his ability Armor Tail. That can stop any of that priority. So that's going to be useful because a lot of people will try and go for priority against Regieleki if you're using it because it's so fast. So that will make a good partner too. Absolutely. Speaking of that rain set, Kyogre is going to work well with Regieleki because Regieleki can then sort of go, you could change up Thunderbolt to like Thunder then. You wouldn't have to worry about things like that. And you could just spam it. And then you could have like Terra Blast Water or something like that. So you could always do things like that with Kyogre as a partner too. And, you could probably take out of each other's counters. Kyogre can deal with the ground types and Regieleki with other stuff like that too. So that's definitely another Pokemon that you can use. Indeedee is another good one too. Definitely Indeedee female. For its ability, that's going to be useful. Same kind of reason as Farigiraf, right? That would sort of be my picks there. There's quite a few that could work for it. Let's go over some counters now. So some good counters. Well, you've got any ground types are going to be a pain for Regieleki. So stuff like Landorus, that's going to be. There's a lot of ground types, right? And Regieleki's main issue is its move pool. It's it's very, very limited, right? So you know what it's going to use. There's going to be no real surprises for it. It can only do like a certain amount of things, right? This is a nasty one. Gastrodon. Gastrodon with Storm Drain completely counters it. Unless it's got Terra Blast Grass, that it's done. Like Regieleki is completely cooked, right? So that's a great counter. Another good, you do see Terra Ice Regieleki sometimes in a bit. So I would say Heatran absolutely counters that very, very well. It's bulky, and Earth Power and Fire Blast and Flash Cannon. That's going to drop that Regieleki very easy. So that's another great counter for that. Let's now have a look at some final thoughts and moves for Regieleki. So here we go. Let's have a look at this incredibly vast move pool. So we've got Agility, which you probably only use on an Electro Ball set if you were going to use it. Light Screen, we've gone over that. Protect, Reflect. Look, it gets Rest and Sleep Talk. It's not a very bulky Pokemon except for its mono electric type, so I don't see that being so much useful. Gets Sub, which can be useful, and then you've got Thunder Wave. It gets Charge. You might be able to use Charge and Charge Beam, or Charge and Electro Ball. You could try something like that. What's got Lock On? You could do like a crazy Lock On Zap Cannon set, a PIMPNITE special. You could go for stuff like that. But that could be a fun set you could go for. Lock On and Zap Cannon, Special Attacker. That could be fun. And you've got Magnet Rise. Magnet Rise isn't too bad. You could have that on there as well. And when you use Regieleki, you're really considering a last fourth move because it doesn't learn much. Let's have a look, right? Like, that's it. It's terrible in terms of coverage, right? So you've got all the electric moves you could possibly want in your life, right? Apart from that, you're done, right? It's got bugger all. You're either going to have to go for a physical variant or a mixed variant with explosion, or have a terror, or have hyper beam on there, which is a dreadful move most of the time because you're left in that recharge, or you just fill it with status moves, and that's about it. Now, its signature move Thunder Cage is interesting. You could try and make some kind of trapping set. Let's try and do one now for a bit of fun. So we've got a trapping set here. We want a bit of recovery on there. So we got that, we got rest. Let's go, well, we'll do Thunder Cage second. So this does damage and it traps. And you could have something like, maybe you could have like Charge Beam on there. I'm trying to do like a interesting set. So actually, let's have Magnet Rise. Yeah, Magnet Rise, so we can only get hit by everything else. It's not a ground type move. And then we're going to make this one bulky too. So we'll go max health. We don't need any speed at all. Let's do defense. We'll drop it. We'll drop its attack because we're hardly gonna use any physical moves at all there. So we got that going. What are they saying here? Yeah, you'll get a few more EVs with that. So yeah, we got a few 180 defense, 56 in special defense. So we got a little bit of all-round bulk there. And then we're sort of trapping them in, and we're sort of sleeping. And then what else we got here? We got let's have a look at its special moves. There's so many of them. We could even go for Ancient Power and try and boost our stats up. It's just dreadful, right? Maybe Charge Beam or let's have a look at its status move. I don't think it even has Toxic. Or something like Toxic would be good. Maybe you could couple it with like a Toxic Spikes team or something like that. But usually the best trapping mons are when you've got Toxic or Leech Seed going, or you're trying to set up and they can't swap out. So that's an option too. You could have like Chesto Berry on there as well. Not Charcoal, Chesto Berry. And then you could have like Ancient Power or something. I don't know, and try and boost your stats. But it's so limited, right? It's absolutely limited. So let's have a look now at its... We've looked at its special moves. There's really bugger all there. And when you look at its physical moves, it's exactly the same. It really is limited. So we've got... The most useful moves are going to be Explosion or Extreme Speed and Rapid Spin. That's about it. And Wild Charge for the physical variants. If you're playing singles though, you could use Supercell Slam because Protect isn't as common. That would be the only time I'd use that over Wild Charge, speaking competitively. Anyway, Regieleki is a cool dancing little Pokemon that's super fast, and it's great at setting up any of those Light Screen and Reflect. It's good at being a scout. It can work on rain teams. But as always with this Pokemon, you know what it's going to use. It has a very, very shallow move pool, and it's very easy to predict and get around too. That's about it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked it, drop a like. Leave a comment if you want to see what Pokemon for me to use next time, and I'll catch you. Peace out.